Hi guys, it's Melanie from Simple Made Pretty, where I share budget DIYs, home decor, and Cricut crafts. I am here with my son and we're getting ready to start a fun project. We have a art canvas that we're going to repurpose and use our Cricut machine to make something fun for his grandpa for his man cave in their new house. This artwork actually came from their new house, but you could use something from a thrift store or just repurposing some art canvas that you have already in your home. And so we're going to get started and it's going to be fun, and be sure to watch until the end where I share where I got the SVG file as well as where to find other free SVG files. This is the printed art canvas before we painted over it. You can tell it was printed, so I'm not worried that I'm painting over an expensive piece of artwork here. Just something to think about before you paint over a painting that you found in your parents' attic. We used a basic black acrylic paint and some Dollar Tree paint brushes. I had my kids help because what kid doesn't love making a mess with paint? While the paint was drying, I headed over to my computer in Cricut Design Space and I uploaded the SVG file into a new project. Then I needed to size the image to fit the square canvas instead of the rectangle shape that is shown here. In order to do that and make it into a square, I selected the entire image to make sure it was grouped. I unlocked the size of the grouped image and I changed the height and width to 30 inches, which turned it into this square shape. I noticed I had the error notification that the size was too large to cut on my mat. So I kept playing around with the sizing until all of the text was under 23.5 inches. Then I ungrouped the text and I started welding a few lines and images together to reduce how many moving parts I'd have on the mat. I highlighted each image, and when I saw the size was under 23.5 inches, I'd weld those pieces together so they cut together. This just makes it easier to put them all together on the sign later on. Then I saved my project and it was time to start cutting. I checked out what the mats look like and chose the material premium vinyl and set the pressure to cut more. Then I headed over to my machine and I unrolled my 651 vinyl, which I placed in the roll holder and then on my green cutting mat. I love using this roller for clean cuts and to keep those long vinyl rolls from rolling all over the place. I linked the roll holder in my description if you'd like more info. Then it was time to place the mat into the machine and let it work its magic. Once all the mats were cut, I weeded the images and placed clear contact paper on the main image. This is my favorite contact paper. I've been using it for over 7 years. I've used it on decals that I've sold in my shop, and everyone seems to love this contact paper. It doesn't leave a sticky residue, and it also is easy to peel off. You can find it linked below in the description. I laid out all the other cuts to create the final image on my canvas to make sure I had the placement correct. Then I used the contact paper over the entire thing to create one big decal. I peeled off the paper backing and placed it on the canvas. I actually prefer to lay large signs like this on the ground so I can really see if it's perfectly positioned from overhead. Then I pressed the vinyl onto the surface of the front and the back sides. Because there wasn't really anything supporting the back of the canvas, since there's a frame, I flipped it over and pressed the back side to make sure it was completely adhered. I carefully peeled off the contact paper to reveal the decal. I decided to use Mod Podge over the vinyl so there's no peeling over time. My kids helped spread the glue over the entire frame, which dried clear. Then we hung the sign in their grandpa's new man cave. We can't wait to surprise him with this personalized gift. Well, I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial showing you how to use Cricut to repurpose printed canvas wall art. I found the Man Cave SVG file in this huge bundle over at Design Bundles. I'll link it in the description. And you can also find tons of free SVG files over at Design Bundles for projects like this. Thanks for watching. Bye.